Good morning. Welcome back to Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Apologize for not being here yesterday. Had some issues, and we'll just say that's that. Did a header into my wall, and so anyways, I'm alive and kicking for now, and that's why we didn't do a show yesterday. Had some other obligations that I had to get done, and by the time I realized what time it was, there was literally no point in the show that we like to get going by about noon. Okay. Basically, about this time yesterday, I was going to a header in my wall while holding a knife, and the rest is could have been history, but we are here, and we are alive, and we are well. So what the hell, let's go ahead and get into Major League Baseball today. Let's go ahead and start off with, by the way, I'm going to start doing this because I got some requests for it, so we might as well go ahead and hit it. Start hitting some of the picks, the lines against the spread. So we'll start doing that more often, especially with football season on the way. People want to know the updated lines. Today, some of the more intriguing ones. I'm going to try to give you ones that are not the gimmies, because the gimmies usually have terrible payback. So I like Ian Anderson in the Atlanta Braves -1.5 on the money line. It's a -120 on the payout. That's not a bad payout considering the fact that Ian Anderson pitches really well on the road, and Atlanta's bats should come back alive after. I honestly think it was a little bit of an exhaustion from the big come from behind victory on Sunday. They looked flat yesterday. Had a chance to bust it open in the first and didn't do it. So you like that game. DeGrom at home against the Brewers, who were awful offensively in their own right. He is a -120 if you take the -1.5. But if you flip it over to the other, Brett Anderson is a solid pitcher. I think this game can stay close enough to where Milwaukee can. I like Milwaukee. It's an even payout, +1.5 on the money line, and I think they can hang in there long enough to get to the Mets bullpen. Low-scoring ball game, so you like that one. A couple other ones that are of note. Aaron Nola is -140. That's it. It's a pretty good payout with the Phillies heading to the Cubs on a 10-game losing streak. Now, with that being said, I'm always a little leery of betting against a team on a long losing streak, especially a team that is as talented as the Cubs, because you figure they're due, but that's a pretty good payday, -140 with Aaron Nola versus Aaron Yetta in a 10-game losing streak. Another one that you like, and this one surprises me. The Rockies are underdogs with John Gray on the mound going against Merrill Kelly. It's in Arizona, but pay attention to that one. And then other lines that you may be interested in. Cardinals +116 at the Giants, and Carlos Rodon -117. He's going against Berrios in Minnesota, but Rodon is a phenomenal pitcher. Berrios is a phenomenal pitcher. I like that game on the under. The under is -105. Okay, let's get into the news and headlines of the day. First of all, real quick, since this is essentially Monday, we like to do this on Mondays. Looking at the divisional races real quick, we'll throw them at you. In the American League, Red Sox have a 4.5 game lead on Tampa. The Yankees are 10.5 back. The Central, White Sox 6 game lead on Cleveland. The Astros are now 3.5 games in front of the A's. And the Mets, 4 games in front of the Nats. Braves 4.5, and the Phillies are both 4.5. So you've got a fairly tight race. Nets have a comfortable lead, but it's nothing where a quick losing streak and one of those three teams getting hot couldn't put some pressure on them. NL Central, Brewers are starting to run away with the Central. 6 up on the Reds, 8.5 up on the Cubs, 9 on the Cardinals. Like we said, the Cubs are on 10-game losing streak. San Francisco, with their league best record, they are only a half game in front of the Dodgers. Both have 53 wins. Dodgers have played one more game, and the Dodgers have been red hot, as they always tend to get in the middle of the summer. So this will be the test of time for the Giants. Can they hold them off? Giants are 5-5 in the last 10. The Dodgers are 9-1. And the Padres, they're 4.5 back. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes, but all three of them look like that they're headed towards the playoffs, and you're going to get a West Coast one-game play-in. Whether it's San Francisco, the Dodgers, or Padres, it would be shocking if those three teams don't all make the playoffs. Okay, today's games really quick. You've got a full slate today in Major League Baseball, and it gets going at 7:05. Pirates and Braves. The Dodgers are at the Marlins at 7:10. If you're looking for other games, we talked about DeGrom hosting the Brewers. That should be fun. Phillies and Cubs. That should be fun. And White Sox, Minnesota. Another one to keep an eye on, just because it should be a wide open game, high scoring. Cincinnati is at Kansas City, and the Reds find themselves in the middle of the playoff push. So they really need to play well in Kansas City this week. And Oakland, Houston is probably the series of the early part of the week. Two teams fighting for a divisional title. And it's Bassett versus Framber Valdez. Framber Valdez is 5-1 with a 2.18 ERA since coming off the IL. It is imperative that Oakland finds a way to win one of these games. They do not want to get swept against Houston. They could build a huge lead that could never be caught. And also out on the West Coast tonight, you got Cardinals, Giants. The Red Sox are out west. Eovaldi versus Ohtani. It's Shohei Ohtani Day, which he continues to amaze everybody. NBA playoffs. What do we have? 9:00, first game. Milwaukee versus Phoenix. Giannis is still doubtful. Game time decision. I don't expect him to play. So that'll be very, very interesting in that series. If you look at the betting line on that for the basketball championship, you're looking at the series. Okay, for the game itself tonight, Suns are a 6-point favorite, -250 on the line. -250 is a terrible get. So if you're either going to take the Suns minus the 6, Bucks plus the 6, I wouldn't touch it either way, because unless I find a way to tease it, that's a very, very high point line, especially in an NBA playoffs, where I think both teams have looked really well. Even without Giannis, the Bucks have looked well. I'd be a little leery of that. Now, here's the strange thing. You look at who's the favorite for the NBA Finals MVP. Giannis is still sitting there at plus 225. You don't even know if he's going to play. But if the Bucks were to win, you can bet your bottom dollar at Chris Middleton's probably the reason why. So Chris Middleton is a plus 450. If you're looking for a sneaky bet on this, what about Brooks Lopez? 12,500 on the money line. Chris Paul is the overall favorite along with Devin Booker. They're both plus 175. If you're looking for a sleeper, maybe you go DeAndre Ayton plus 1,800. But I really feel like if the Suns win, it's going to be
it's going to either be Booker or Paul. And if the Bucks win, you just figure it's got to be Middleton. Unless they just drop the 2 first games, look terrible, and then Giannis comes in and they rattle off a championship, then obviously it would go to Giannis. But you're taking a huge gamble to put something like that out there. And then as far as the series goes, the Bucks are a plus 170, Suns are a minus 200. I don't like that payout either way. But if you're going to jump on the Suns, you might want to jump on them now, because if they get the 1-0 lead, it's probably going to go to 250 or so. If they get the 2-0 lead, it's going to go to like 400. So if you're going to jump on the Suns, jump on them now. But in a perfect world as a gambler, you would love to see the Bucks steal game 1, then you jump on the Suns, and then the Suns rally. All right. NHL last night, obviously, if you missed it, we are getting a game number 5 as the National Hockey League Stanley Cup Series continues, because Montreal gets a 3-2 overtime win. Hell of a game, and could end up being a fun series if Montreal can find a way to win in Tampa next. That'll be tomorrow. A lot of things are being thrown up there. Is this? That's a sound that I want to try to get off. So I'm gonna throw it to you real quick. You got the hurricane coming through Florida. It could make some delays. They've already postponed the Rays game today. They're gonna play a doubleheader tomorrow. They hope that the storm is gone by then. And so if that is the case, then we should be fine with the Lightning tomorrow night. But that storm slows down, et cetera, et cetera. There's more damage than expected, whatever have you. You could end up not having that game until Thursday night. And then the one feel-good story, Bruce Springsteen. I know some people don't like him, but we won't go political on that. Bruce Springsteen, the famous rock and roll singer, his daughter, Jessica Springsteen, has been selected for the Tokyo Olympics show jumping team, which is the equestrian, very, very difficult sport. Not one that I really get into and watch during the Olympics. I might, if it's on, I'll see what's going on with it. But she makes it, and Springsteen, her 12-year-old stallion, I guess it's called Don Juan, and there's this long behind us, so I'm done with it. Will be a part of a 4-member squad that includes Ward Farrington and Laura Kraut. So there you have that. Bruce Springsteen's daughter heading to the Olympics. And if anyone who might get political, people, a lot of backlash on the Gwen Berries of the world. What was the other girl's name? Wolf, that was talking about burning the American flag. This keep an eye on that, because her dad has always been very anti, I wouldn't say necessarily anti-American, but he definitely has, he's got some very, I don't know if the right word would be dramatic, but he has a very dramatic way on the way he interprets some of the things in going on in the world. And so we'll see. Maybe she's the polar opposite and says, I'm here to compete. Don't crush my dream. So we'll see what happens with that. But Olympics, what is that? About 2 weeks away? A little over 2 weeks away? I believe 2 weeks from Friday, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, and take yourself out to the ball game today. Take me out to the ball